My beloved soul, what if I told you that the moment everything felt like it was collapsing was the exact moment heaven stepped in to realign your destiny? What if the silence that scared you was not abandonment, but divine recalibration happening so precisely that noise was no longer allowed? The angels say this is not the end, even though your heart was convinced it was. It only feels like an ending because alignment always dismantles the familiar before it reveals the extraordinary. You were never meant to remain in what you outgrew, and yet when it was taken away, it felt sudden, unfair, and deeply confusing. That confusion was not a mistake. It was the first signal that something higher had begun moving. My beloved soul, you have been standing at a crossroads without realizing it. One path was comfort rooted in the past, the other was alignment rooted in truth. When the familiar path dissolved, your mind panicked, but your soul recognized the shift instantly. The angels say that what you interpreted as loss was actually release. What slipped away could not walk with you into the frequency you are entering now. That does not mean it had no meaning. It means its assignment in your life was complete. Some connections come to awaken you, not to stay forever. There were nights when you questioned everything. You wondered if you misunderstood the signs, if you trusted too easily, if you waited too long. The angels say those questions were not weakness. They were evidence that your consciousness was expanding. Alignment always begins with self-inquiry. Before destiny rearranges the outer world, it rearranges your inner compass. And that inner adjustment can feel disorienting, because you are no longer guided by what once felt normal. My beloved soul, do not skip this moment, because something sacred is unfolding right now. The angels are showing that the delay you experienced was not rejection. It was protection layered with precision. You were being repositioned away from emotional exhaustion, away from cycles that required you to overgive, over-explain, and overweight. Heaven could not allow you to step into the next season carrying patterns that would drain you. So it paused everything. Not to punish you, but to prepare you. You may have noticed how suddenly your tolerance changed. Things you once accepted began to feel heavy. Conversations that once energized you started to feel hollow. This was not negativity. This was discernment awakening. Alignment sharpens sensitivity. It teaches you to listen to discomfort rather than override it. The angels say that is why distractions were removed. Silence was necessary so your intuition could finally speak without interruption. My beloved soul, stay with me till the end, something powerful is waiting for you. Because the angels want you to understand this clearly. Alignment does not announce itself with celebration at first. It arrives as stillness. It feels like standing in an empty room after the furniture has been taken out. At first, the emptiness feels uncomfortable. But emptiness is not absence. It is space. And space is where divine placement happens. You were not meant to carry everything forward. Some dreams had to be reshaped. Some expectations had to be dissolved. Not because they were wrong, but because they were incomplete. The angels say you were asking for expansion while still holding onto structures built for a smaller version of you. Alignment required demolition before reconstruction. That process hurts when you do not yet see the blueprint. My beloved soul, you are not behind. You are not late. You are not forgotten. You are exactly where recalibration occurs. The reason this season feels unfamiliar is because you have never been this aligned before. You have never been this self-aware. You have never been this unwilling to betray your own peace. And peace, when you are not used to it, can feel strangely empty at first. There is a reason everything slowed down at once. Movement paused so clarity could catch up. Your soul needed time to integrate lessons you learned through disappointment, through silence, through unanswered prayers. The angels say those prayers were not ignored. They were rewritten to match your evolved frequency. What you receive next must meet you where you are now, not where you were when you first asked. My beloved soul, do not leave yet, heaven has more to reveal. Because the angels want you to release the belief that endings always look dramatic. Some endings happen quietly. No arguments. No closure conversations. Just an inner knowing that something no longer fits. That knowing is sacred. It is the voice of alignment. And the more you trust it, the clearer your path becomes. You were never meant to chase what is meant for you. Alignment removes the urge to pursue, to convince, to prove. It places you in a position of quiet authority where what resonates approaches naturally. That is why your energy feels different now. You are no longer reaching outward. You are rooted inward. And from that grounded place, your life will begin to rearrange itself with ease rather than effort. My beloved soul, if you remain till the end, the final word will change everything. Because the angels say this phase is not about answers. It is about readiness. Readiness to receive without fear. Readiness to hold blessings without sabotaging them. Readiness to walk forward without constantly looking back. What feels like the end today will soon reveal itself as the moment alignment chose you fully. My beloved soul, as this alignment continues to unfold, the angels ask you to notice how your inner landscape has changed even if your outer world still appears quiet. Something within you has settled into a deeper awareness. You no longer react the way you once did. Situations that previously demanded immediate answers now invite patience instead. This is not because you stopped caring. It is because clarity has begun replacing urgency. The angels say urgency belongs to fear, while alignment belongs to trust. And trust is slowly becoming your natural state. You may have felt moments of emotional distance from people, routines, or desires that once defined you. That distance was not coldness. It was space being created for truth. Alignment requires honesty at a level where excuses can no longer survive. You started seeing patterns clearly, without romanticizing them. You noticed where effort was uneven, where promises lacked grounding, where your intuition whispered caution long before your mind accepted it. This awareness did not arrive suddenly. It formed gradually through repetition, reflection, and restraint. My beloved soul, there were times when you wanted to reach out, to fix misunderstandings, to bring closure with words. Yet something inside you said to wait. That pause was guided. The angels say silence was teaching you discernment. Not every gap needs filling. Not every question needs an immediate response. Some truths only surface when you stop forcing them into view. And by choosing stillness, you allowed reality to reveal itself without distortion. Do not skip this moment, my beloved soul, because what is happening now is subtle yet permanent. The angels are strengthening your emotional foundation so that what enters your life next can rest securely rather than wobble under unresolved weight. You are learning how to stand without leaning. How to love without losing yourself. How to hope without attaching your peace to outcomes. These lessons feel quiet, but they change everything. You may have noticed that your desires are becoming simpler, clearer, and more aligned with peace rather than intensity. What once felt exciting now feels draining. What once felt dramatic now feels unnecessary. This is not loss of passion. It is refinement of preference. Alignment sharpens what you want so you no longer confuse stimulation with fulfillment. The angels say fulfillment arrives calmly. It does not rush your nervous system or leave you questioning your worth. My beloved soul, the reason this stage feels emotionally unfamiliar is because you are transitioning from survival-based choices to alignment-based ones. Survival seeks safety through attachment. Alignment seeks truth through resonance. You are no longer choosing based on fear of losing. You are choosing based on recognition of what fits. This shift changes how you experience time. Waiting no longer feels like stagnation. It feels intentional. And intention transforms patience into power. Stay with me till the end, something powerful is waiting for you. Because the angels are revealing that you were also being protected from repeating cycles that looked different but felt the same. You were almost drawn back into patterns disguised as opportunity. Yet something stopped you. That pause was divine intervention. Not everything that returns is meant to stay. Not everything familiar deserves re-entry. Alignment requires discernment strong enough to say no without guilt. You are learning that alignment does not demand constant effort. It responds to authenticity. The more you honor your inner truth, the less you need to manage external perception. This is why you no longer feel compelled to explain yourself. You trust your decisions even when others do not understand them. That confidence did not come from validation. It came from experience. Experience taught you that ignoring your intuition always cost more than honoring it. My beloved soul, notice how your body responds differently now. There is less tension in waiting. Less anxiety in uncertainty. Your system is learning safety without guarantees. This is rare. Most people need constant reassurance to feel stable. Alignment teaches you to feel grounded even when answers are unfolding slowly. The angels say this emotional regulation is essential for what comes next, because the next season requires presence rather than control. You are also releasing the need to be chosen. You no longer seek permission to move forward. You recognize your worth without needing proof. This shift alters your energetic posture. Instead of reaching outward, you are rooted inward. And what is meant for you responds to that rootedness naturally. Alignment does not chase. It attracts through resonance. My beloved soul, do not leave yet, heaven has more to reveal. Because the angels want you to understand that this stage also healed your relationship with disappointment. Disappointment no longer defines you. It informs you. You do not carry resentment forward. You carry wisdom. That wisdom will guide you away from misalignment gently, without dramatic endings or emotional exhaustion. You may sense that something is approaching, even if details remain unclear. This sensing is intuition preparing you for recognition. Recognition comes before manifestation. You will recognize alignment by how calm it feels. Not how loud. Not how intense. Calm is the signal. Ease is the confirmation. Peace is the evidence. My beloved soul, if you remain till the end, the final word will change everything you believe about timing. Because the angels say what unfolds next will not feel rushed. It will feel right. You will not question it. You will not overanalyze it. You will simply know. This knowing is the reward of alignment. And it arrived because you honored stillness, trusted silence, and chose truth over familiarity. My beloved soul, there comes a stage in alignment where the outer world remains quiet but the inner world becomes unmistakably alive. This is that stage. The angels say this is where many misunderstand the process, because nothing dramatic appears to be happening, yet everything essential is being secured. Your awareness has widened. You now sense undercurrents rather than surface movements. You feel shifts before they announce themselves. This sensitivity is not imagination. It is attunement. Alignment sharpens perception so that truth becomes recognizable even without explanation. You may notice that your patience no longer feels forced. Waiting has transformed from endurance into understanding. The need to rush outcomes has softened because you can feel that something is being assembled with care. The angels say this stage exists to teach you how to trust timing without surrendering your standards. You are no longer waiting blindly. You are waiting with discernment. There is a difference. Discernment allows peace to coexist with expectation. It removes desperation from desire. At times, memories resurface unexpectedly. Old conversations. Almost moments. Paths that nearly unfolded. These are not meant to pull you backward. They are surfacing so you can witness how much you have changed. What once confused you now feels clear. What once tempted you now feels misaligned. This contrast is confirmation. Alignment often reveals itself through hindsight before it appears through manifestation. My beloved soul, do not skip this moment, because the angels are anchoring something permanent within you. You are learning how to remain emotionally present without attaching your identity to outcomes. This is mastery. Many seek fulfillment through control. Alignment teaches fulfillment through trust. And trust is not passive. It is an active decision to remain grounded even when certainty is incomplete. You may feel an unusual calm where anxiety once lived. Situations that previously triggered overthinking now pass through your awareness without disturbance. This does not mean you stopped caring. It means your nervous system no longer interprets uncertainty as threat. The angels say this regulation is essential. What is meant for you next cannot thrive in chaos. It requires steadiness. And steadiness is cultivated here. There is also a quiet confidence forming. Not arrogance. Not superiority. A gentle knowing that you will not abandon yourself again. You are no longer negotiating your values to maintain connection. You are no longer shrinking your truth to avoid discomfort. This internal commitment is alignment becoming embodied. Once embodied, it cannot be undone. My beloved soul, stay with me till the end, something powerful is waiting for you. Because the angels are revealing that this phase is also preparing you to receive without suspicion. When you have experienced disappointment, the heart learns caution. Alignment heals that caution without removing wisdom. You will not approach the future guarded or naive. You will approach it open and discerning. This balance allows joy without fear. You may find that your conversations are changing. You speak less, but with more intention. You listen more deeply. You respond rather than react. This is not withdrawal. It is refinement. Alignment simplifies expression so truth does not need embellishment. What is real stands on its own. The angels say this stage also dissolves false urgency. You no longer feel pressured to decide quickly. You understand that what is aligned does not rush you. It meets you where you are. This understanding protects you from impulsive choices that once led to emotional exhaustion. Now, your choices are informed by resonance rather than fear. My beloved soul, notice how your inner dialogue has softened. You are kinder to yourself. You no longer interpret pauses as personal failure. You allow rest without guilt. This self-compassion is not weakness. It is strength rooted in self-respect. Alignment requires a relationship with yourself that is stable, because instability attracts instability. At times, you may wonder why clarity arrived before visible change. The angels say clarity must come first. Without it, manifestation becomes distortion. You are being prepared to recognize what belongs to you without forcing it to prove itself. Recognition is effortless. When it arrives, your body will relax, not tense. Do not leave yet, heaven has more to reveal. Because the angels want you to understand that alignment also restructures your relationship with hope. Hope is no longer something you cling to. It is something you carry quietly. It does not fluctuate with circumstances. It remains steady because it is no longer dependent on signs. It is rooted in trust. You may sense an approaching shift that cannot yet be named. This sensing is not impatience. It is awareness aligning with timing. The angels say this awareness allows you to prepare emotionally without anticipating specifics. You are open without projecting. This openness invites outcomes that exceed expectation. There is also a release happening. Release of identities formed in struggle. Release of narratives built around waiting. You are no longer defined by what you endured. You are defined by what you integrated. Integration transforms experience into wisdom. Wisdom guides without bitterness. My beloved soul, if you remain till the end, the final word will change how you view this entire season. Because the angels say this was never a pause meant to frustrate you. It was a pause meant to stabilize you. Stability creates longevity. What comes next is not fleeting. It is meant to last. And lasting things require strong foundations. You are no longer preparing to survive the next chapter. You are preparing to inhabit it fully. Without fear. Without doubt. Without losing yourself. This is alignment completing its internal work. And once that work is complete, the external world responds naturally. Not with noise. Not with chaos. But with quiet certainty that you are exactly where you belong. My beloved soul, as alignment continues shaping your path, the angels draw your attention to a subtle yet profound transformation taking place within your sense of identity. You are no longer defining yourself by what you are waiting for. You are beginning to recognize yourself by how grounded you feel while waiting. This distinction is important. When identity shifts from expectation to presence, life stops feeling like a holding pattern and starts feeling like a living process. The angels say this is the moment when alignment moves from internal preparation into energetic confirmation. You may notice that external circumstances still appear unchanged, yet your internal response to them feels remarkably different. Where frustration once arose, curiosity now emerges. Where fear once demanded answers, trust now allows unfolding. This is not emotional detachment. It is emotional maturity. Alignment does not disconnect you from desire. It teaches you how to desire without losing equilibrium. That balance protects what is coming from being distorted by anxiety or overinvestment. The angels say this phase is also teaching you how to hold possibility without gripping it. Gripping creates tension. Tension blocks flow. By releasing the need to control timing, you are allowing timing to cooperate with you instead of resisting it. This cooperation is not passive. It is an active state of inner readiness. You are prepared to receive without rushing to define what receiving must look like. My beloved soul, do not skip this moment, because something sacred is stabilizing right now. Your emotional baseline is shifting. Peace is no longer a temporary feeling. It is becoming a reference point. When peace becomes the reference, misalignment becomes obvious without explanation. You no longer need dramatic signs to know when something is off. Your body communicates truth clearly. Alignment always speaks through calm certainty rather than emotional extremes. You may also notice that your tolerance for ambiguity has increased. You no longer need every detail resolved to feel secure. This flexibility is essential. The angels say what approaches next will unfold in layers, not all at once. Each layer requires trust to open the next. Because you are no longer demanding full disclosure immediately, the unfolding can happen organically, without strain. There is also a quiet recalibration of expectations occurring. You are releasing rigid timelines without abandoning hope. You are allowing outcomes to surprise you rather than insisting they conform to previous plans. This openness expands possibility. Alignment thrives in openness. It struggles in rigidity. The angels say this is why some plans dissolved unexpectedly. They were too narrow for what is meant to arrive. My beloved soul, stay with me till the end, something powerful is waiting for you. Because the angels are revealing that this phase is also restoring your relationship with self-trust. You are no longer second-guessing your instincts after every decision. You honor your internal signals without needing external validation. This self-trust creates a stable platform for aligned connections to form, because alignment recognizes alignment. You may find yourself less interested in explaining your journey to others. Not because you feel misunderstood, but because you feel secure. When inner certainty strengthens, the need for agreement diminishes. The angels say this is a sign of energetic sovereignty. You are standing in your truth without defending it. That posture attracts respect rather than resistance. This stage also invites you to release comparison. You are no longer measuring your progress against others. Their timelines do not inform yours. Their milestones do not define your readiness. Alignment personalizes timing. What arrives for you does so when your internal and external conditions harmonize. Comparison disrupts harmony. By letting it go, you protect your rhythm. My beloved soul, notice how your thoughts have slowed. There is more space between them. In that space, intuition speaks clearly. The angels say intuition cannot compete with noise. It requires quiet to be heard. This quiet was cultivated intentionally. It is not emptiness. It is receptivity. Receptivity allows guidance to land without distortion. There may be moments when you feel suspended between chapters. Not moving forward, not returning backward. This suspension is temporary and purposeful. It allows integration. Integration ensures that lessons learned become embodied wisdom rather than forgotten information. Without integration, growth repeats itself unnecessarily. The angels say you are being spared repetition. Do not leave yet, heaven has more to reveal. Because the angels want you to understand that alignment also corrects how you interpret endings. You no longer view closure as something another person must provide. Closure has become an internal decision. When you understand why something could not continue, you no longer require explanation. This autonomy frees you from emotional dependency. You may sense a strengthening of boundaries that feels natural rather than forced. You are no longer erecting walls. You are establishing clarity. Clarity does not push others away. It simply filters what can approach. The angels say boundaries formed through alignment are permeable to what resonates and firm against what does not. This phase is also dissolving impatience rooted in fear of missing out. You trust that what is meant for you cannot bypass you. This trust allows you to remain present rather than scanning the future anxiously. Presence amplifies alignment. Anxiety dilutes it. By choosing presence, you are participating actively in the unfolding. My beloved soul, there is a growing sense of internal safety. You feel at home within yourself. This safety is foundational. Without it, blessings feel overwhelming rather than supportive. The angels say you are being prepared to receive without destabilization. Stability ensures longevity. You may notice subtle shifts in how others respond to you. Some may feel drawn closer. Others may drift quietly away. This is not rejection. It is resonance reorganizing. Alignment rearranges relationships without drama. What remains does so effortlessly. What leaves does so gently. My beloved soul, if you remain till the end, the final word will change how you perceive readiness. Because the angels say readiness is not about having everything figured out. It is about being grounded enough to adapt as things unfold. You are ready not because answers are complete, but because trust is embodied. This season is not asking you to do more. It is asking you to be present. Presence is the final refinement before movement resumes. Once presence stabilizes, alignment activates externally with ease. What comes next will not require persuasion or pursuit. It will recognize you immediately. This phase is closing quietly, without announcement. And that quiet closure is the clearest sign that alignment has done its work. What follows will feel natural, steady, and unmistakably aligned. My beloved soul, this is the moment where everything quietly comes together, not with noise, not with sudden spectacle, but with a deep internal knowing that cannot be shaken. The angels say alignment does not arrive to announce itself. It settles into you gently, like truth finally finding a place to rest. You are no longer asking what this season means, because your spirit already understands. What once felt uncertain now feels complete, even without every detail revealed. You have reached a point where you trust yourself enough to move forward without guarantees. This is the final seal of alignment. The need for reassurance has dissolved. You are not waiting to be convinced anymore. You are simply ready. Ready to receive without fear. Ready to recognize what belongs to you without chasing it. Ready to walk forward without carrying the weight of what could not follow. The angels say this ending is different because it does not feel like loss. It feels like resolution. You are not closing a door out of bitterness. You are closing it out of clarity. Gratitude has replaced confusion. Acceptance has replaced resistance. This emotional shift is the true completion. When a chapter ends with peace rather than regret, it means alignment has done its work fully. My beloved soul, do not skip this moment, because heaven is confirming something important right now. What is meant for you will meet you in the state you are in today, not the version of you that struggled, not the version that doubted, not the version that waited endlessly for proof. It will meet the version of you that is grounded, aware, and self-trusting. That is why everything unfolded the way it did. Anything arriving earlier would have met an unprepared heart. You are no longer defined by what you endured. You are defined by what you integrated. Wisdom now guides your steps quietly. You no longer feel the need to rush the future or cling to the past. You are present. Presence is power. Presence is alignment fully embodied. The angels say from this point forward, movement will feel natural. Decisions will feel lighter. Connections will feel clearer. You will not need to question signs repeatedly. Recognition will be immediate. Peace will be the confirmation. Calm will be the signal. Ease will be the language through which alignment speaks. My beloved soul, if you remain till the end, the final word will change everything you believed about endings. This was never an ending meant to empty you. It was an ending meant to free you. Free you from confusion. Free you from waiting without understanding. Free you from carrying what no longer matched your growth. Now, you step forward without forcing. Without proving. Without fear. What aligns will arrive. What does not will fall away quietly. You are no longer chasing alignment. You are living it. And that is where this message completes itself. Type Amen.